Hey, Seed Up here, back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing the differences between The Last of Us Episode 1 and the video game. So let's go ahead and get into this. The episode starts with a couple of politicians talking or debating, whatever. That doesn't happen in the game. Also, what doesn't happen is that Joel and his daughter do not have breakfast. Instead, in the game, it is at night where we first meet the daughter, and then, of course, Joel walks in. The show deals with the daughter's day. Mainly, we get the daughter's focus. Joel and Tommy go off to work as contractors in the show, and eventually we get to the point of where it is in the game. And that scene where Joel walks in with his daughter is pretty much the same as it is in the video game. It's damn near word for word when Joel walks in. In the show, Tommy is locked up for a fight in jail. That's not how it goes in the video game. In the video game, Tommy is somewhere else. We're not sure where he is in the game. He was just telling Sarah to get Joel on the phone before the phone gets disconnected. In the show as well, there's more suspense because Sarah goes down, she opens the door, she goes to the neighborhood house, she sees one of the infected, and in the game that's not the case. She stays inside. Joel eventually comes in the house. In the show, after she goes outside and she sees the infected woman, she runs out, Joel kills her outside, and then they get in the car. In the game, she stays in the house. Joel comes inside, and one of the infected eventually comes to the door, tries to get in, eventually gets in, and Joel shoots him in the game while they're still inside. Joel then takes Sarah, and Tommy pulls up, and then they get in the car. So those are the differences. More shit going on in the show where she's outside. She was doing a lot. She was not doing all that. She was smarter, I think, in the game. She stayed inside. Joel got her. Then they went in the car. From that point on, very similar things happen. There's some shots that resemble the game. So damn near everything happens the same way it does in the game as it is in the show. There are some minor differences in the show where they're driving in the grass. In the game, it's not like that. In the game, the crash happens very quick. In the show, it takes a little while. Outside of that, up until the point where she gets shot, everything is damn near the same in the game as it is in the show. In the show, they show a lot of how the world is and how the government is working, giving them ration cards, giving them these jobs. Joel's going from job to job. It's not really like that in the game. In the game, they're more with the citizens, and they're scrounging and trying to get supplies. The government's still there and everything. It's just a little different. Also, Ellie is locked up in chains in this. She was not in chains in the game. In the show, she is, but that's not how it is in the game. And she's really, really with Marlene in the game. In the show, she's a little bit like whatever about her, but she's very, very strong and opinionated about her in the game. Joel is looking for Tommy in the show. In the game, it was not like that. He was just looking for guns. They were trying to get their guns, him and Tess. But in the show, they're trying to get to Tommy, and they're trying to get a car battery. Not the case in the game. Also, Robert, who takes their car battery instead of their guns in the show, he is shot and killed by the Fireflies. And in the game, you shoot and kill Robert for taking your guns. So it's a little bit better in the game, in my opinion. For the most part, it's just guns instead of a car battery. That's the difference. There are some other differences with the show, like I said, with them going out through the government and Joel getting jobs. And also, Tess has a run-in with Robert earlier, and they're more friendly in the show. But there's no major difference. Really, just replace the car battery with guns in the show, and it's a little bit more brutal in the game. Also, Marlene is accompanied with this girl, like her right-hand man, I guess, but she's not in the game. It's just Marlene in the game. After they take Ellie to Joel's house in the show, there is, of course, these code songs that mean different things. In the game, there is none of that because episode 3, there's a lot of differences there. We'll get there when we get there. In the game, Tess does leave as well in the show. In the show, she's just trying to see how many guards and soldiers are out there. But in the game, she went with Marlene to see the merchandise and was like, damn, we need to take her. Made more sense in the game to me. Now in the game, they get caught by a couple of soldiers who really had nothing to do with the story. In the show, it's different. Joel meets the same guy who he was trading with earlier in the show, and he catches them. He's trying to negotiate, split shit with them. Eventually shit goes south because Ellie does stab him. Same thing she does in the game. She stabs one of the soldiers, and Joel winds up killing the other guy. So same thing in the game as it is in the show, except for, like I said, Joel has more of a history with the soldier, in the game, it's not like that. And also, more soldiers were there in the game. There was 2 of them, just 1 in the show. Tess kills the other soldier in the game, while Joe kills the other guy who Ellie stabbed. There's some more little minor differences on how they get out, but that's it for episode 1. I will get to episode 2 when we get there. See it about, guys. I'll do this for every episode of The Last of Us. See it about again. Peace.